All right, everybody, back with a brand new Cabral Concept, episode 3191 of the show. If you've been getting more into exercise, if you like to know all of these different interval-based training programs that have been shown to extend lifespan, work on overall anti-aging, and promote better health, today's show is for you. And that is because this specific interval, called the 4x4x4 Norwegian protocol, is going to help you to boost your endurance and your cardiovascular capacity, as well as your VO2 max. So, what are the benefits of improving your VO2 max? Well, first and foremost, it's one of the number one indicators for overall health and aging, meaning the higher your VO2 max, oftentimes, the better your chances for living a long, healthy life. Now, I do think, though, that it is mainly a proxy, right? Because if you have a good, strong VO2 max, what are you doing? You're exercising, probably eating an anti-inflammatory diet, getting some good sleep, like all those different things. But keep in mind, they have shown that maybe you're not doing as much of the other things, but your VO2 max is high. So that is why exercise alone is one of those things we cannot stress enough in terms of an overall anti-aging and longevity plan. Well, the 4x4x4 Norwegian protocol helps you to boost max VO2. And if longevity isn't your thing, well, boosting your VO2 max is going to improve your overall endurance and basically athletic performance. You're going to be able to compete or move your body with greater ease for a longer period of time. Walking up a flight of stairs, no big deal. Breaking out into a sprint or a jog, no big deal. Playing basketball with your friends or your kids, no big deal. Like, it's all of those things are easier because your VO2 max has improved. In terms of body transformation, increased fat utilization, better known as fat burning. So when you have a good, strong VO2 max, usually you've worked up to that in terms of training, and it enables you to stay leaner with a good amount of muscle mass. Great for metabolism. Enhanced cognitive function. Why? Because VO2 max is literally your body's ability to use oxygen. Your brain needs oxygen. It needs fuel. Your mitochondria need energy for their endurance, their output. Both of those things are improved. And the last one, which I'm not sure it matters to as many people, but it improves your anaerobic, I should say, your anaerobic threshold. So it's your body's ability to do high intensity work for a longer period of time without you feeling burned out. So it's a great one to do. So if you could only sprint for like 10 seconds before, as your VO2 max improves, you can sprint for 30 seconds or a minute. So you can naturally see it start to improve. So if you're not able to just go and check your VO2 max at a lab that puts you on an exercise bike and checks your VO2 max, you can find these things now basically on your Oura Ring or even Garmin watch. It estimates it, right? You do a 6-minute walk test. We'll talk about those in the future, but you'll know that your VO2 max is improving. All right, so how do we improve it? Well, I've talked about sprint interval training before. I'll link that up for you today. So head on over to stevencabral.com/3191. We're going to link that up for you. But this is a great one. As I said, it's called the Norwegian 4x4x4. Before we get to this, I do recommend you work up to it. I recommend that you do 20-second sprints, followed by 40 seconds of rest, and repeat. I recommend 30-second sprints, followed by 90-second rest. That's that sprint interval training, right? 30 seconds on, 90 seconds off. Do that 4 to 8 total times. I would work on those for a couple months before getting to this Norwegian training program. And the reason is greater intensity. So let's get into what it is, because it's simple, it's straightforward, but it's not easy. But the benefits are there if you're able to complete it. So if you've completed it before, you're thinking about trying it, I would love to hear from you in the comments. Simply leave us a comment below. So here it is, 10 to 15 minutes of a warm-up. You actually need this warm-up. I'm not the biggest advocate of all these long warm-ups because who has the time, honestly, to be able to do a 20-minute warm-up? Like, we're going to do 20-minute warm-up, 20-minute cool down, it's 40 minutes. That's my whole workout, right? So it's like, that's a lot of time. So this does need a warm-up though, because of the high intensity nature. So 10 minutes to 15 minutes, get your body moving at like 60%, 70% of your max VO2. If you don't know how to get your max VO2, the estimate, I'll link up a podcast on that. Again, all of these will just be at stephencabral.com/3191 for all the show notes. So all you're going to do is take 220 minus your age. Estimate that's about 100% of your max. Again, if you've been training for a while, your max will be higher, but we're not going to get too deep into that here today. And just take about 60% of that. So for most people, it's walking at like 3 miles an hour, maybe with a 1% incline, if you're on a treadmill inside. So simple, straightforward, just walk, or a very light jog, keeping your heart rate below 140. All right. Just get that body moving. Then just rest for a minute before you start your interval. And so your first interval is going to be 4 minutes of almost all out pace. Why is it not all out? Because the human body can really only do about 90 seconds all out. So we're at about 90% of our max. So if you're doing heart rate training and your max is, let's say 200, because I want to do really easy math for myself right now, we're just going to say, all right, well, what's 90% of 200? It's 180 beats per minute. That's really fast, right? Let's say your max is 150. Right? So that means you were, 70 years old or so? Okay, so let's do 150. So 15 times 9 is going to be 135. So that'll be your max heart rate, all right? So you're just going to find out about what's 90%. Now, again, you need to be able to maintain this for 4 minutes. So don't hurt yourself, right? You're going to work up to this anyways, but you want to be at about 90 to 95%. Really push yourself for 4 minutes straight. All right, so rate of perceived exertion, really difficult to be able to have a conversation, which should be non-existent, with the person next to you. You shouldn't be able to have a conversation. Say a couple words, but that's about it. You should really be pushing yourself at high-end aerobic to /anaerobic intensity. So all out, how can you do it? Well, it's got to be something that you can actually know where you're at. For most people, cycling is really difficult to get your heart rate here. It really is. I've done this with many, many clients, unless you are using an Airdyne type bike. So the Rogue or the Schwinn Airdyne, where you have your arms going, I can get my heart rate up to 90% for sure using arms and legs. You can get to 90% easily running. A lot of people can do it jump roping. You can get to 90%. Tough to do it with burpees, things like that, because it has to be sustained at 90%. Some people can do it with swimming, not a lot. Rowing is another one that some people can get it at, all right? So just find one thing where you're not going to get injured, that you can repeat over and over and over for 4 minutes straight, all right? Then after the 4 minutes is over, you're going to take a full 4 minutes rest. This should be active recovery. So take a second to breathe, and then you're just going to walk very slowly, maybe 2.5 to 3.0, to get your heart rate to be back down to 60% or so of your max VO2. So again, by the time you get here, you're absolutely looking at your heart rate. Apple Watch, Garmin, Polar chest monitor, those are probably the best ones to use. I don't think that the or those products are going to be able to keep up with it as well. All right, so and chest rate is for sure the best. Holding onto a treadmill is terrible. Elliptical, those are terrible for taking your heart rate and being accurate. Bike, just as bad. So definitely use a watch or chest strap monitor. Okay, so now though, for 4 minutes, you're just going to walk slow. So once your interval ends, start that timer, 4 minutes, pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Keep your heart rate between 60 to 70% of your max. Then after that, what do? Well, we do 3 more of these 4-minute Norwegian intervals. So that's why I call it 4 by 4 by 4. After your warm up, 4 minutes on. 4 minutes recovery, which is just light walking. And then we do that 4 total times. 4 on, 4 off, 4 on, 4 off, 4 on, 4 off, 4 on, 4 off, done. Now, should you do all 4 rounds the first time you try this? The answer is no. If you're a CrossFitter, you're someone who likes to go all out, you probably will try it. But my recommendation is do 2 the first time. The next week, do 3. The week after that, you can do 4. So literally you can do 1, 2, 3, 4. By the time a month is over, well, you're able to do this now once a week. This is a full workout. Think about it. 10 to 15 minutes warm up, maybe some dynamic warm up, then some walking or light jog, then 4 by 4 by 4. If we do that, that's 8, right? Times 4, it's 32 minutes. Maybe you don't take the last 4 minutes, but you're definitely around 30 minutes, right? Add on your 10 in the beginning. So now we're at 40 minutes and we need a cool down, which that's why I would add in those just a couple minutes. So the least amount of time you could do this is about 40 minutes, but that's a great amount of time. So that's a full workout. And this is a workout that will help to improve your max VO2. It's actually things I've been working on, and I'm going to be really honest with you. And I don't mind sharing these things now because I think it's important. Like my max VO2 has gone down so much because I have not been training it in really a decade. That's the truth. I always do strength training. I do a little bit of sprints, a little bit of cardio, but just was no longer focused on it. When I started to get back into running, because I know the importance for overall health, my mile time, it's unbelievable how slow I am now compared to what I used to be. It's unbelievable. So now I say, all right, yeah, that's fine. Yes, I'm a decade older, but my time shouldn't fall off like that. I'm getting this back. So now I'm just committed to this process. And what I found is that by pushing yourself for 2 minutes straight, now 4 minutes is next level, I'm going to get here, but pushing yourself for 2 minutes in terms of intervals is a great thing to do as well. So what I'm doing right now is working up to these Norwegians. I'm doing 2 minutes on, 2 minutes off, but I'm working up to 8 of those. And then I'll be doing this Norwegian protocol as well, probably every other week, I would say, because I like my 2 minutes, because I'm trying to work on speed as well. So there's just a difference. You can't go as fast when you're doing 4 minutes as you can when you're doing 2 minutes or even 90 seconds. So I kind of look at that as just trying to get in a quarter mile as fast as possible. So there's a lot of different ways to achieve the same goal, but by adding in and increasing your sprint interval time, you are going to increase your max VO2. And I look at it as this. I'm not in a hurry or not in a race. I'm now moving into my late 40s. My goal is to be able to exercise and train my entire life. I don't want to get injured. I have no special goal that I need to achieve in this moment. I just want to get better, and I want to continue to better my best. However long that takes, I'm in it to win it. I'm only competing against me and my former me, which was much faster than I am right now, and just working on improving. That's really what it's all about. So even as I'm bringing you the Norwegian protocol, I myself will get into this and I'll share when I do. So it's all part of the process, but this is something that you can look forward to doing. And I'm telling you, when you actually complete the 4x4x4 Norwegian protocol, that is something to celebrate. If you can complete that, it's unbelievable. It really is. Like, that is an amazing feat of fitness to be able to complete all 4 of those rounds. So you should congratulate yourself when you're able to. I'm going to be talking about this in High Performance Health. If you've never heard about High Performance Health, that is our group of literally people trying to take their health to the highest level possible. Look at early preventable disease detection, high-tech health, all of those things. You can find out more about that at highperformancehealth.org. Check it out. Hopefully this was helpful. Of course, do feel free to share the show with anyone you believe could serve. Show notes will be at stephencabral.com/3191. Take care, everybody. Have an amazing rest of the day. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything. Functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.